Okay. Oh my gosh. Welcome, everyone. I am just so honored and delighted, and just my heart is filled with so much love to be here once again in this 8th annual Our Lady of Guadalupe gathering. Her feast day is actually on December 12th, which is tomorrow, but I always do it on the Sunday before, or last year was actually the Sunday was the day. So I've just I feel, when you do these offerings, and I know many of you do, that as soon as you agree to do it, the preparation begins, right? So it almost feels like as soon as the last Guadalupe gathering last year was done, which was all about leadership, right? She had said, I need leaders. And then it was like, all this stuff that unfolded in my life this year, for various reasons, but definitely preparation to be here with all of you and be able to facilitate this healing chamber, this chamber of miracles and transformation. And I have to say, I'm just so delighted we have, I've always for a long time known that, I'm here in Chicago, and of course, there's so many of you clients and students that are local. Of course, Chicago is huge, right? So even if you're in Chicago, it doesn't mean you're like close to me, but still you're here geographically. And it's been such a joy to connect and with people here. And I always knew that I was also meant to share my medicine with a global community, with the community outside of Chicago. And first of all, we have so many states represented here, Pennsylvania, California, Colorado, New York. I mean, like, it's so many, Seattle. It's just like a whole bunch of states, and then so many parts around the world. We have the UK, we have Denmark, we have Slovenia. I mean, it's like all over, it's growing, right? Which is because Guadalupe, who represents the Sacred Mother, she is the Divine Mother. She is a form of the Divine Mother for these times, for everyone. Yes, she has a special place in Mexico, right? Because she appeared in this form in Mexico, and so there's such a devotion. I live in a predominantly Mexican community, and I see her everywhere. She's everywhere. She's like not just on her feast day. She's on the wall, she's on the murals, she's in the statues, she's on the windows. I mean, she's all over. But I've known for a long time that she is for everyone, right? She is a revolutionary. She is a radical force of love. And so I want to share a few things, and let me just, oh, Damien, I'm so glad you're here. Nina, oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And if you all want to share where you're joining from, and again, there's about 50 people signed up. I know because of time zones and a lot of things, people are a lot of people will join in the replay. But so I want to share the cards that I pulled. I mean, I have a whole bunch of oracle cards, but this one first was blessings. How perfect, right? There's a rainbow and blessing. So I've known there's a lot of blessings here for us. And then we got rebirth. I don't know if you can see that. So blessing. So for me, it's like a blessed rebirth, right? A blessed rebirth. I mean, this has been a journey for a long time, but a few weeks ago, when that message came from the Sacred Mother that the priestesses had suffered enough, right? She was like, the suffering has to end. And so today, as we gather together in ceremony, I feel beautiful Guadalupe there behind me and there with all of you, really bringing her healing balm to our hearts and to our bodies, to our emotions, to our thoughts. She's bringing this healing balm to any spaces within us that are still holding the suffering from the past. And I'm talking this lifetime and other lifetimes. And so, because as we step into 2023, right, where the theme of this gathering today is embodying divine trust. That's what she said, right? When I was praying and I was like, okay, Guadalupe, last year you were like, I need leaders. What's your message? And right away, it was this very gentle voice of like, I want you to trust me more. And then she said, I'm inviting all of my priestesses, which are you, right? Women, men. If you don't identify with one particular gender, wherever you are, your being is answering this call to the priestess path to channel unconditional love. And so she said, I'm inviting you to trust me more. I am asking for all of you to hold your center, regardless of whatever drama or chaos or breakdown is happening around you. And I knew that a lot of this was not necessarily personal chaos in our own life, because I think many of us at this point have gone through a lot of that already. I know I have gone through years of the dark night of the soul and years of the breakdown to build up and all of that. It was more this message of the collective, that as the earth goes, this beautiful planet Earth goes through its rebirth, there's a lot of breakdown. There's a lot, you can look out into the world with your physical eyes and it can look like we're going backwards, or it can look like there's so much chaos and crisis and pain and suffering, and there is. And yet, if you are here, you're part of the humans who agreed to come in during these times and to be the beacons of light, right? To be the priestesses, the priests, the divine sacred priests and priestesses who are holding the vision of unity consciousness and unconditional love. And that's what Our Lady of Guadalupe was saying when she said, embody divine trust and hold your center. And I was like, and I got this image of us really, because I was like, what does that mean, hold my center? And it was like my soul, my higher self, that master within me, really leaning into her. And to walk like all the ascended masters did, right? Like ascended master Jesus did, like Kuan Yin did, like all these ascended masters did, that they could walk through this world of illusion and pain and all of the stuff, and yet not get sucked into it, to be actually the representation of grace and love. And so that's the commission for this year. It's a big one. And yet Our Lady of Guadalupe would never, ever, 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 ever ask us for something, first of all, that is not going to bless us, that is not going to bless the world, and that she is not stating, declaring, committing to walk with us every step of the way. And so today, in this ceremony, you might already be feeling her presence, her grace, her power, her fire, her love, her beautiful cloak of stars. You might be feeling her already starting to bring that healing balm to whatever old trauma and wounding and suffering you might be holding on to. And when we go into a more of an inner journey space here in our time together, she will be very explicitly extracting, dissolving, clearing, to make space for the huge receiving that we're doing today. Whether you're here live or whether you're tuning into the replay, We're here together. And the other thing is that we're here, her feast day comes at such a perfect time, right here as we are in the last month of the year. And so there's also a gift of integration woven into today's gathering. So I invite you to start to think of, and your soul, your higher self will be in charge. So you don't have to, this isn't about analyzing, just listen to your heart. But think about these 12 months back in January of 2022 of this year. And all of the expansion, all of the lessons, all of the growth, all of the healing, all of the perhaps physical, if you went through a lot of physical healing as I did this year, there was a lot of physical for me, also emotional, relationship, travel, whatever, all the things, perhaps relationships that you let go of, perhaps relationships that you welcomed into your life, perhaps, and it's not just relationships to people, there might be relationships to food that evolved for you, relationships to habits that you recognize, oh, these aren't supporting my path, right? So there's been a lot. And so Our Lady of Guadalupe is also here today to help us integrate. Because I know for me, my lessons have been so many and so quick and so accelerated that it's almost like I'm kind of completing a lesson and the other one's already here. And it's almost kind of mind-boggling to think back like, oh my gosh, only 2 weeks have passed. There's so much that has happened in those 2 weeks. And so today, when we go deeper into our ceremony, there will be this gift of integration, of tying up loose ends, I'm hearing her say. And, the day before, the night before every Guadalupe gathering, this is the 8th year, but it's the 9th one. Some of you have been here with me since the beginning when I used to host it here in my home in the living room, and I would have tamales and I would have atole and you would bring food and we would gather together, and it was so lovely and so beautiful. And then it was time to turn it virtual, to open it to a wider global audience, right? Because that was part of the mission. And Our Lady of Guadalupe was reminding me one of the years, and I wish I had written all them down because I can't remember which year, I went to Mexico City. It wasn't my first time, but I went to her shrine in Mexico. And we had a special Guadalupe gathering that year in August. And I invited people to write letters. And some of you might be here who were part of that, to Guadalupe. And I and my husband, Greg, flew to Mexico, went to this shrine and took your letters and delivered the letters. If you've ever been there, it's kind of crazy. Like it's just, people are just coming from all over. And so I was remembering that, like she was showing me like how long this has been, right? How much. And so we had that gathering, and then we had another gathering in December. So it's really the 9th gathering today, even though it's the 8th annual. And then she reminded me, and I was like, why do you want me to share this? But she wanted me to. So she reminded me the first time I went to her shrine in Mexico City, it was like 21 years ago. Wait, 21? No, like 22 years ago. It was at a time that was one of the most challenging times in my life. It was an incredibly painful time in my life. My kids were little. I only had 4 at that point. My 5th child hadn't been born. And it was at a moment I had gone to Mexico because I needed to get away. I'd gone with my children because I was contemplating a decision. And I don't need to share all the details, but it was basically this massive decision that would change my whole life and the life of my children and the life of my loved ones. And it was a decision that basically everyone in my life had a very strong opinion about. like a very, very, very like, no, this is what you need to do. And people that I was really close to, that I loved, that I respected, that, and people who had a lot of power over me, you know, this included organized religion. It was just like this whole almost campaign, like, this is what you have to decide. And yet I had this tiny little flame in my heart that was still holding on to, like, I don't know if that's the right decision for me. And so I'd gone to Mexico and, you know, visit family, but also went to this shrine because I was like, Guadalupe, you need to help me. I am completely lost. I don't know if what I'm feeling in my heart is real when all these people, everyone is saying no, 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 no. And so I went. I wasn't by myself, but I went there. And I was really at the point where I was just like, God, divine, your will be done. I do not know. And I had this ring that my mother had given me that had been passed on to her from a cousin in Mexico, from where she was born in a little town in Mexico called Las Cruces. And it was this very special ring. It was like an heirloom. I think I've told this story maybe before. And it was a beautiful band. It was white gold. I have very slender fingers, so rings are really hard for me to find. They're all huge on me. And I don't like rings that catch on stuff, but this was this beautiful band with engraved little stars in it. Later, I realized a lot like the stars on her cloak. And so I was wearing that ring because I never took it off. And so when you get to the part where it was like the shrine, you see, you know, her image, and there's all these like prayers, and I mean, it's just like so much energy in that space. You can feel like all the prayers and heartache of the world and her massive heart. And I was there and I was just like, help me, help me. I don't know what am I supposed to do? Tell me. And I took my ring off, this ring that was so special to me for so many reasons. And I gave it to her. I tossed it in this, like, I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't a pit, but it was this thing where people would bring roses and prayers and offerings for her. And I was like, I'm giving you this ring. And I really think now, like, what was I? It wasn't like, so you can answer my prayers, I'm paying you or with a ring. It wasn't that. But it was this like symbol for me of how devoted I was to just doing what the divine was guiding me to do. And so I gave it to her. And I honestly, kind of forgot for years that I had done that. And last month I went to a new shrine to Guadalupe that opened. And she reminded me of that moment. And so, and what she showed me is that when I came back from Mexico, things got a lot worse, which is why I was like, why am I saying this story? And she was like, things got a lot worse, not because of that moment, but because it was just an incredibly traumatic time in my life. And they got worse, they got very intense, but I followed my heart. And there was something about Guadalupe's grace that led me and guided me through all of that suffering. And so she wanted me to bring this not as a message because you're going to suffer now, but because then she said to me, last night as she was awakened, that now the trauma that I'm healing, and I'm offering this to you, perhaps, maybe it resonates, is that there's a layer of me feeling that change is going to require suffering and chaos and drama and pain and all sorts of things, because that's how it was for so long. And when she brought the message of the priestesses have suffered enough, she meant that. And so when she says, trust me more, and when she says, embody divine trust, and when she says, hold your center, and when she reminds us what she said, right? When she appeared in Mexico City, and Juan Diego, who she appeared to, was like, nobody's going to believe me. People think I'm a nut. What is going on? How am I going to do this? And she was like, am I not here who am your mother? Right? Que no estoy aquí, que soy tu madre. That's what she said. Am I not here? And so that's her message, that we can, today, she wants to remove this massive layer of not just the suffering that we've experienced, and let's just say all of it, let's say she just transmutes all of it, but then the added layer of kind of bracing ourselves that, oh, it might, it's just, yeah, I can feel 2023 is going to have massive expansion for me. But I realized that I have this part that's like, I know there's going to be a lot of suffering and it's going to be a lot of pain and I'm going to go through all these dark nights of the soul, but on the other end, it'll be joy. Like, no. And she's like, we're building the new earth where suffering is not required. And so now we're at the point in our priestess path where we must be the models and the representation of that we can grow and we can heal and we can lead without the suffering, even as we're surrounded by people who are suffering. That is the radical ask. That is the radical grace. She is a revolutionary. Our Lady of Guadalupe, she is a revolutionary, and she's not calling us to arms. She's not calling us to violence. That's been done. She was telling me this last night, because I was like, you're a revolutionary, but are people going to think that this means war and, you know, weapons and all that? And it was like, wait, that's been done. That's so old. That's so old, right? To like, go do it violently. That's not revolutionary anymore. That's not radical. She's like, no, I'm here to do it in a radical way and to guide all those men, women, a lot of women, mostly women, let's just say, who are here ready to do it through love. That's what we're here for. That's why my book that I'm writing, that I'm birthing, that she's like, you're not going to suffer as you end this book, is Priestess Rise Up. We're rising up as a battalion for the Sacred Mother of love. And so I welcome all of you to take deep cleansing breaths. And I call upon this circle of grace, this circle of grace to surround our circle, right, of 50 individuals who said yes to this invitation from all around the world. And know that you are each like ambassadors, right? It's like you're here, we're having this like summit, and then you're going to take all of this to your own world, to your own loved ones and clients and students and strangers you meet in the world. So we call on this circle of grace to surround all of us as a collective here. And I also see a circle of grace and miracles surrounding each of you individually. And Our Lady of Guadalupe, who's so generous, she has an infinite amount of cloaks, I've learned. She's placing her cloak of stars around our collective circle. Her cloak of stars. And she told me once that the stars, one of the things that it represents many things, is all of the planetary systems where she's not just here helping the earth, she's helping a lot of the universe. And she showed me that these stars represented different star systems, different planetary systems, where she is also there helping and guiding. And so she places this cloak of stars around our collective group. We are not only protected, not only empowered with grace and love, but we're also connecting to our own starry origins, right? Our own star family. And just take that in with your heart. This isn't an intellectual exercise. Just receive that in your heart. Just know that whatever is here for you, your higher self will translate it in a way that makes sense to you. And because Our Lady of Guadalupe, works with other beautiful ascended masters. I have this altar that I'm sitting on. I wish you could see all of it, but I have green Tara. I have this beautiful tall angel there. I have Mary Magdalene. I have Kuan Yin. So Isis. So all of these beautiful ascended masters that are coming here for this gathering to help amplify the blessings. Green Tara and Kuan Yin and White Buffalo Woman, who is so in alignment with Our Lady of Guadalupe. Mary Magdalene and Isis and Hathor, and beautiful ascended master Jesus and Mahavatar Babaji and Buddha. And if there are any special guides that you connect with that I haven't named, that are all rooted in unconditional love, they are welcome here. And we welcome the enlightened ancestors. The ancestors, past and future, that are here as allies, that are not here with any agenda. They're not here to ask anything of you. They're here as allies. They're here to bear sacred witness. They're here in gratitude. And yes, they're here with medicine bundles of gifts for you. And connecting with Mother Earth beneath you, take a moment to visualize those roots of light going down your legs and out the bottoms of your feet deep into the earth. Deep into the earth, feeling the tree roots, the crystal allies, all really taking a moment to anchor and ground all of us, because the point of gathering together is not just to have this like beautiful experience and then we go back to our life. No, we are grounding it. We are going to all channel this grace into the earth. So let those roots go deep into the earth. And if you have a hard time grounding, as I used to for years because of trauma, right? Because of trauma, I would escape my body. I would just go up. So if that is something you're still working through, really take a moment. Right? Take a moment to really okay, yes, I'm willing to ground my energy. I'm willing to connect to the earth. I'm willing to be as present as possible right now so that you can receive these blessings and they can actually create change in your life, and so that you can bring them into the world. So take a moment to really do that. Don't skip or brush through this step. And also, Father Lupe is reminding me, so you can release. It's very hard to release when you're ungrounded. So let's really take that moment, connect to Mother Earth. If you need to bring your palms face down on your legs or knees to do that, do that. Calling on all the crystal allies. I'm really feeling the hematite and the black obsidian and the smoky quartz and the ruby stones. All the crystal allies that are helping us to ground in this moment. The black tourmaline. Already Guadalupe is coming in and she's bringing this healing for any trauma that you have that keeps you ungrounded, that keeps you out of your body. And some of you, I know you've done healing work for years and years and years and years and years. And here's just another level of healing. And if you're in the beginning part of your journey, just trust, just be open. Do not analyze, notice if there's a part that wants to go into a story, but just go back into your heart. And we're just allowing Our Lady of Guadalupe to bring in this beautiful healing already of any trauma that we have, past, current, past lifetimes, that keeps us ungrounded, even if just a little. And so just feel that. So I feel almost like my body's really landing. Feel the earth magnetizing you to her. She's like, it is safe to be present. It is safe to arrive. The earth needs us here, present and grounded. And again, Our Lady of Guadalupe, she's just bringing a cloak, a special cloak of stars to any parts of you, inner child parts, but perhaps they're not inner child. Maybe they're other adult parts of you that have had trauma. And because of that trauma, they've escaped their body. That's how they kept themselves safe. I know I did that for years and years and years. So there's no judgment, there's no shame. That's what you needed to do. And yet now Our Lady of Guadalupe, right? She's like, I'm here as your sacred mother. And she brings her cloak of stars and she's just placing it around the shoulders of all of these parts of you, helping them to ground safely. And so now, feeling that earth energy traveling up your roots, traveling up your back, traveling up the back of your neck, up to your crown. See, I'm wearing this crown. It's representing our crown chakra that's so open. So see your crown chakra open. Now it can open more because we took that time to really ground. And coming into your beautiful heart, if it helps you to bring the palms of your hands over your heart, do that. Land in your heart, in the temple of your heart. We welcome all the different parts of you. We welcome your inner children. Yes, those that perhaps are still healing from past wounds. And we welcome your phoenix child, your star child, right? That inner child master within you. She or he or they are here. You know, they have the faith to move mountains. So we welcome our beautiful star child. And so together, knowing that you are safe and protected and loved, take a moment. We're going to take a journey together. Before we do that, take a moment to be with Our Lady of Guadalupe. Whether you've been connecting with her for years or this is your first time and you're like, I don't know why I'm here. I was guided, but I've never even connected with her before. That is fine, wherever you are. Welcome her right now in your, wherever you are, in your home, in your space, wherever you're watching this, she's there. I have her image behind me, but not because she's with me and not with you. She's with you. And so let's see in front of us, welcome our beautiful Lady of Guadalupe. With her cloak of stars, with the crescent moon under her feet, with that golden halo, right, that surrounds her. With the angels that are always with her. And she looks at you into your eyes with so much love and so much admiration, right? Just like a mom, right? A mom who looks at her daughter, her son, her child, is so proud of them. That's how she looks at you. There's no judgment. There's love, there's respect, there's honor. And she repeats those words to ease any worries you might have. Am I not here who am your mother? Because that's the beauty of Guadalupe. She's the mother of the world and she's the mother of you. You. She knows you intimately. She knows you personally. She knows every detail of your life. And so as you feel her presence, start to ask her, what am I here today to release in this Guadalupe ceremony that she commissioned me to facilitate? Ask her, what am I releasing once and for all? What am I releasing? And perhaps your intellect's like, oh no, there's no way I could release this. Or that's too big. There's no way it could be released in one ceremony. Notice that, have compassion for it, and know that miracles are here. And so ask, what is it? What is the heaviness? What is the block? What is the resistance? What is the trauma? What is the wounding? What is the programming? What are the burdens that I am ready to release? Maybe maybe you didn't even know you were ready to release it, but here you are. And if you want to share in the chat, feel free to share it. What is it that as we travel in this journey that Guadalupe is taking us on, you are once and for all going to release? So I'm feeling this burden of shame, this burden of self-doubt, attachment to suffering, fear of change. Destiny saying, releasing all scarcity, suffering, untruth. Yes. So just be with her. She's like this beautiful sun in front of you, and yet she doesn't burn your skin. All right, she's the sun and she's the moon. She's everything, right? And so you're there. It's like, what is it? And just like, let this go deep, 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 deep. Perhaps the thing that you've been afraid to acknowledge that you need to release. Perhaps there's a habit or a person or something that you've been kind of putting away. And Our Lady of Guadalupe, yet she's here, she's truth. So when you're in front of her, nothing can remain hidden. And yet she loves it all. She loves you. There's no judgment. And so we're just feeling her rays of light going into every part of our being, particularly any places of congestion, any places of darkness, any places that have become calcified with self-judgment or shame or fear. Jojo saying codependent patterns of communication with my biological family, especially grown children. Yes, thank you, Jojo, for courageously sharing that. Yes. Those can be the hardest things, right? So her rays of golden light are piercing us. They don't hurt us, but they're piercing, right? Every little crevice, any little thing inside where perhaps the light's been off and she's like, no, don't hold back. So she's shining the light with love, the most unconditional love and compassion. But anywhere where you're holding on, where you were like, no, no, no. And she's like, no, we can turn on the light here too. Damien saying, I release all that no longer serves my highest potential, my highest good to be of service on this earth now. Yes. I release all that obstructs my heart's fullest joy. I release all programming to stay small, to stay in fear or overwhelm now. Yes. Thank you, Damien, for sharing that. Because that's what we're doing this release for. Yes, it's for our highest joy. And I love how you have joy in all caps. Yes. And this is how we provide the most service. This is how we can fulfill our divine mission. This is how we create our legacy of love. And so, yes, let those beams of light go through every little space that you have tried to hide from yourself. And again, remember, it's so essential that you remember her deep love for you. You know, those of you who are mothers who know that love, that unconditional love, right, that we have for our children, or perhaps you felt that from your own mother. And if you're not a biological mother, but you felt that unconditional love, right, for your animals or friends or loved ones, like Our Lady of Guadalupe encompasses that unconditional love. So when she says turn on the light in all the dark spaces, there's no harshness, there's no judgment. All there is this fierce love. And she's like, don't block my love to reaching every little crevice. So let that happen now. She's just there in front of you, and those rays of light are just going everywhere, 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 everywhere. Any space. Jill say release self-judgment, harshness, and addictions. Yes, thank you, Jill, for naming that. That harshness that we can have towards ourselves, towards others. Those addictions that we all have, right? Whether it's addictions to substance, to sugar, to drama and relationships, to overworking, to codependency, to suffering, to worrying, all of them. We all have them. There's no judgment. So yes, let's let her rays just infuse us. And what she wants us to do now, because this is what she said, okay, so we're going to step into a journey. We're in a journey, but we're going to travel. We're traveling to El Cerro de Tepeyac, where she appeared. Oh, I'm getting chills. This is where she appeared, Our Lady of Guadalupe. And of course, we know she appeared before then, right? We know that the Aztec people, the indigenous people of Mexico, connected to Tonantzin, right? Connected to the Sacred Mother already. And yet she appeared again here in this mountain of Tepeyac. So we're all traveling. I'm not even going to put us on a ship or anything. We're just like getting beamed to this beautiful hilltop of Tepeyac. It's this beautiful mound. And in this moment, she's showing it to me with green. And if you've ever seen any movies or read accounts of when Mother Mary appears, you know, in these divine apparitions, there's always like a charge in the air, right? So we're there on this field. There's these beautiful, amazing cows further back. I'm just naming them. There they are. Just beautiful. And we're there together. We've taken this pilgrimage together. Everyone here who's live, all of you who are watching the replay, we're here together. We're here. And the air feels charged with grace and miracles. Like you might feel maybe a little trembly, or we're there. What a gift that she's taking us to that moment. And as we stand there, just like Juan Diego did, with his worries and his worries, right? He was so devoted. He wanted to do exactly what she asked of him, but he was scared, like, who's going to take me seriously? Who's going to, you know? So we're there with all of our worries, all of the things that we named, that you shared. And Maureen wrote, you know, she says, you were doing divine work and you were persecuted for it. No more suffering for it. Yes, Maureen, thank you for naming that. So all of that, we're there on this hilltop with all of our pain and our grief and our things that we're like ready to release. And there we see on this little mound, on this hilltop, suddenly this golden light starts to coalesce there. And it starts to take the shape of this sun, these rays of sunlight. And within the rays of the sun, this beautiful woman appears. And she's wearing this beautiful cloak of stars. And she has the most beautiful, loving, powerful face. She stands there almost floating and present. And she makes eye contact with each of us. Because that's what divine beings can do. So her gaze looks at this group of people, right, that we've gathered here. She has this beautiful smile on her face, this gentle smile, beautiful smile. And she looks at each of us in the eye. And the scent of roses suddenly fills the air, right? Strong smell of roses. And she's going to invite all of us, so all of you, she's going to guide me to facilitate this, but all of you are going to lie down on this hilltop. Find a spot that's perfect for you, and you're lying down. The grass feels beautiful and gentle. And so let yourself lie down. And if you, in wherever you are, want to actually lie down, feel free to do that. Or you can just stay seated and be in this journey where we're on this pilgrimage and we're all lying down. You're all lying down. And all of the things Our Lady of Guadalupe starts to walk around, right through, she's just kind of walking through the group. And she's saying, she's reminding you with almost this lovely, beautiful little, like a laugh, right? A loving laugh. Like, am I not here? Am I not here who am your mother? It's like nothing can block the Divine Mother's love. Nothing can stop her. Nothing is too big. So she has such a lighthearted, her voice is beautiful. It's such a lightheartedness because she's like, there's nothing you can hold that would be too big for this Divine Mother healing. Am I not here who am your mother? And so as she walks through the group and you're all lying down, she's like, just let it be released into the earth. And these beautiful rose petals start to shower over. They just descend from the heavens and they're just landing over each of you. And every rose petal, there's different colors. There's red roses, white roses, pink roses, orange roses. There's roses of colors I've never seen. And whatever special rose color is meant for you is coming to you. So just perceive that with your inner eye. Like, oh, just let those rose petals, and they're blessings that are helping you to release with ease. So again, she's like, am I not here who am your mother? And she can sense that some of you, some of us, hold back from the release. So she's saying, she's inviting you, because it's always an invitation. You always have a choice. But she's saying, if you're willing, let's do a prayer that in this moment we can release completely, and that we can release more than we've ever allowed ourselves in the past to release. That it be done now and forever, now and in all time, in all dimensions of time. And if there's a resistance to being loved so fully, which is part of the human suffering, or we've been programmed to believe we don't deserve this love, let's release that. Let's release the resistance, the poison, the lie, the programming, the conditioning that has us believe we can't receive this level of love, this level of healing. So let it go all into the earth, on this sacred land where she first appeared. And these beautiful cows are bringing in the medicine of Hathor. And she's bringing in this healing that will span all of your parallel lifetimes, all of your past lifetimes, past and future timelines. So let it be released. Let it go deep into the earth. And the earth, she is joyful. She is taking this all in and composting it. She's like, you're not harming me by letting this go. Let it go and let me compost and recycle and dissolve. What harms her is when we don't do this. That's when we try to hide it and then we project it and we amplify it. So in this moment, this is very clean, a clean release. And as you lie here, letting all of that go, we step into the receiving. And again, she's like, am I not here who am your mother? She is here. Our Lady of Guadalupe shows up in many different ways. And she's showing up here as this radical revolutionary guide for the priestesses. You are here to bring love to the world. You are bringing love to the world. You are here as a champion for unity consciousness. You are here weaving in the true matrix, right? La matriz, in Spanish, matrix, matriz is womb, of love, of compassion. And she honors the suffering you've experienced. She honors the journey. You are revered for agreeing to come into this lifetime where you were going to have years of suffering. That we stepped into this lifetime being these divine beings, and then forgetting that. Not all the way, but enough that we suffered. And she's saying, but now, and now is the time that was always ordained for you to wake up, for the rebirth, the blessed rebirth, as these cards. And so welcome the rebirth. Welcome the receiving. Tune into your heart, into your biggest dreams, into all of the support that you need, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, relationship-wise. She's saying, don't keep anything out. There's no need to suffer in any area of your life. There's a belief, she's saying, almost like, oh, well, if my career gets blessed, that's awesome, but oh, my relationships are going to have to be hard. Or, oh, I have this great relationship, I'm so blessed there, but oh, of course, now I'm going to suffer in this area. No. So whatever you're holding, she's being very adamant about this. She's like, whatever you're holding, and maybe it's even unconscious that you're like, well, this is my cross to bear. This is the place where, it's okay. She's saying, where you're like lowering your standards, lowering your expectations. And some of them in the guise of, this is what a spiritual person does. She's like, enough. Open your heart to the prayers in your heart of what it is you desire, what it is you dream of, what it is you want, not from the egoic place, but from the true heart's desires. And so we're now stepping into that moment of the asking and the receiving. The releasing will continue. It's happening. I'm just seeing like it's all flowing in the earth, flowing in the earth, flowing in the earth. Some of you are still holding back. That's okay. Just keep praying. Like, I'm willing to release it. I'm willing to release it. And so now the receiving begins. What are you here to receive? What are you opening your arms, your heart, opening your third eye to perceive and receive? Like, let yourself name those things. What are the blessings that you're like, this I am receiving? Do not hold back. Do not put some things under the category of like, oh no, that's not important. If it's in your heart, it's important. So she's like, I am here as your mother. I am here to provide so that you can do your holy work. So what is it? And if you want to write it in the chat, you can do so. But just in your heart, what is it that you are receiving, that you're asking for, that perhaps you've been afraid to ask for it? And let's do that prayer, the prayer to receive more than you've ever allowed yourself to receive. There's resistance to receiving. And so we dissolve that resistance. We call on your guardian angels who are always giving you, who are so receptive. They're always receiving from the divine. And we call on your guardian angels to surround you now. We call on the angelic aspects within you, because you are angelic, to help you now to open to receive more blessings. So Destiny is naming freedom, sovereignty, peace. Yes. Whatever it is. And if there's some material things that you need more of, home, car, money, health, whatever it is, she's like, do not hold back. Whatever it is, because when we name it here, it will be elevated to its highest expression. Damien's saying, I'm receiving prosperity in massive amounts so that I may serve the Divine Mother in all ways with a joy-filled heart so that I may ignite the hearts of millions. Yes, absolutely. Let's all, thank you for naming that, both of you, Destiny and Damien. Yes, we accept that for all of us. Thank you. Because that's what this is about. That's what Guadalupe is about. It's not to serve a little bit of people. It's the millions, the collective, not in a codependent, martyr, sacrifice, creepy way that we've done in the past, because that's what we thought we were supposed to do. Financial stability, forgiveness, expansion of my soul's medicine. Yes, Jill, thank you for that. Forgiveness. Oh, that's I'm just feeling that Our Lady of Guadalupe is saying, like, yes, accept this forgiveness for anything you're not. Okay, how do I say this? This is what she wants to say. Any time in your life where you have withheld love from yourself, where you've not only withheld love, but you've added judgment and shaming, now is the moment where you forgive yourself for all those times. She's saying now is the moment where you have compassion for all those times. Now is the moment where you recognize the great service, the noble mission that you signed up for. Destiny saying money, joy, love, heart opening. Thank you, Destiny. Yes, clarity. And she's saying, I want to feel my heart. Yes. So if any of you are having, perhaps you've been hurt in such a way that you have, that some of your feelings have been closed down or your heart has closed down out of protection. So in this moment, receive that heart opening with Our Lady of Guadalupe as she pours her blessings over your heart. So I see her, she's walking around and she's like bringing the rose petals and she's bringing her cloak of stars. She's giving each of you a cloak of stars. And so she's taking a moment to come down to each of you and she's placing this cloak of stars over you. Receive her beautiful cloak like a blanket of stars over each of you. As you receive and you release, Emily saying life, abundance, expansion. Yes, the prayer for more life. What a courageous ask that we can all do. More life, more life. Thank you, Amy. Health to serve lovingly and fully. Self-love, clarity, and inner peace. Reconnecting with my heart. Thank you, Amy. Yes. Health. Yes. I feel that that's an ask for me as well. Clarity, inner peace, reconnecting with my heart. Yes. And there's a lot of that happening in this group right now, this reconnection with our heart. You know, the healer heart is so precious. And, you know, this Friday, I woke up just feeling like, oh my gosh, just, it was like this, I don't even know how to explain, like this sadness, this loneliness. There wasn't a specific reason. I just woke up and I felt that and I was like, oh my gosh, what is, and I was just feeling this, and it was numb. Because if I could have cried, that would have felt better, but it was just like, and so I was praying, you know, I was sitting in my altar. I was like, what is this? Right. And as I kept asking, and then my internet went down, so I couldn't distract myself with anything online. I have Wi-Fi speakers in my house. So I had a playlist playing that I couldn't change the playlist because everything was down. So it was like the most bizarre. It was like, I was sad. I felt this loneliness. I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't do anything online. My speakers were playing this playlist that I just had randomly chosen. That was very like sad. It was very, but it was perfect, of course. And I couldn't change the music. I was sitting there, literally, only thing I can do, sitting on my altar, and she's having me share this. And I was like, what is this? And she was showing me that it was like years of being a healer in this lifetime and in other lifetimes. And she showed me all these lifetimes where I was a healer by myself, where I was alone, where I felt misunderstood by the community, where it was just all this like loneliness, isolation. And then almost like my heart like closing, like I do not want to heal anymore. Like, and I was like, it was happening because I was literally, I knew that actually this was happening because I'm stepping into a bigger container of healing and teaching, right? I'm actually going to serve more. But because I was ready to expand, all this old stuff just came rushing. And all I could pray for in that moment was just like, help me connect with my heart, help me feel. I was just like numb. And so Amy and Destiny and anybody else who resonates with that feeling of like, my heart needs to reconnect. And then I did, then like a miracle happened, and a dear friend, which I think, Robbie, you will be watching the replay. You were the dear friend. I literally was like, help me. And then I got a text, my dear friend Robbie from New York, being like, I was just thinking of you for some strange reason. And then Mother Mary showed me that she was surrounding you. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then the tears came. then I was able to cry. So it's like, this is the thing. And I know we're going over, and I meant to say that in the beginning, but she told me we're going to go over today. So if you have to get off, I totally understand. You will hear this all in the replay, but it's like, we're just going to go with it. And so she was like reconnecting the priestess heart, healing the priestess heart, so that all that overwhelm from healing, from doing, from giving, from being isolated, from being persecuted, from being betrayed by the sisterhood, from all of the stuff right now in this moment, let's clear. I literally feel like Mother Mary, Our Lady of Guadalupe, right? She's standing above us and she's plucking out, I know this sounds, it's not violent, but she's plucking out the heart chakra. She's literally, that's what she's showing me. She's going over each of our heart chakra and she's lifting it off lovingly. And she has it in front of her and she's just like very lovingly like, okay, we can remove that. We can remove that. Oop, there's a lock here. Let's remove this lock where she locked this part of her heart. Oh, there's like something there. So she's doing this very lovingly to our heart chakra right now. Just opening and clearing all the places in the heart temple where we've closed, where we've shut down. Because we are being asked to love more, to expand more, to lead more. So this is happening right now. Because this is what happens when we come in ceremony, right? When we come into ceremony, our heart temple is being cleared. And she's talking to your heart chakra. It is safe to love. It is safe to open. It is safe to be powerful and strong. It is safe to be seen. It is safe to be abundant. It is safe to stand out. It is safe to be different. You are meant to be different. We are birthing a new paradigm. There's no way, we're not meant to fit in. It was just never designed that way. So she's blessing our heart chakra. She's blessing all the petals and all the chambers. And she's praying these magical prayers and these magical mantras, right? Am I not here who am your mother? And she's placing it back. So let yourself receive your activated heart's temple. And so I'm just going to read some of these. Jojo saying, forgive myself for holding distrust of myself. Thank you, Jojo. Yes. And that's what was just healed with this heart chakra healing. Destiny, yes. Prayer for more life. Next level of vibrant health. Thank you, Jill. Yes. Nina, receiving more of me. That's so beautiful, Nina. Thank you. And thank you for holding this in Slovenia where you are. Thank you. Releasing despair. Yes. Barb, greater love, compassion, courage, energy, guidance, action. Yes. Destiny, thank you. Yes. Yes. Okay. So let me just see. We're still on the mountain of Tepeyac. She's coming down to your feet now. That's how beloved you are. As she's blessing each of our feet. So she's blessing your feet. She's blessing the chakras at the soles of your feet. And she's doing an activation so that you can release more easily. And she's saying so that you can ground more easily. And so that as you walk the earth, you bless wherever you walk. And she's saying whether you walk there physically or you just visualize yourself in that land, you are a blesser. Damien saying, I'm healing ancestral lines forward and back and releasing any old patterns or stories that are keeping me small. Thank you. Yes. Yes, let's release the stories. Yes, they go into the earth and release the ancestral lines forward and past and in all dimensions of time and in all timelines. So as you sit up in this mountain of Tepeyac that we were blessed to visit together, in this moment of her appearance, of course, she knew this was going to happen even then. And as you come back, right, we're just going to beam ourselves back to your space, wherever you are. And you're bringing all of that energy, all of that love. It's all there with you in your space now, in your home, in your office, wherever you are, in your body, in your cells. Every cell has been blessed. And she's saying Our Lady of Guadalupe because she's still with you. She's saying, now that you've done this clearing and this healing, now that prayer of embodying divine trust, embodying, not visualizing, not imagining it, not even praying for it. It's like embodying it, that your physical body vibrates in the frequency of divine trust. What is divine trust? It's trust in your own divine self. It's trust in unconditional love above everything else. It's trusting that you are protected and safe as you share your love with the world. And that regardless of whatever is happening in your life, the grace of the Divine Mother is there with you. And so Our Lady of Guadalupe stands behind you now, and she's placing her hands on your shoulders. She's placing her hands on your shoulders. And she's going to do an attunement on each of you, all of us, attuning you to this frequency of divine trust. And from now till December 31st, this attunement is going to be integrated. An attunement is an empowerment. It's a rewiring of your energy body. This is not a small thing. And so she places her hands on your shoulders. And she's, her mantra, right? That's like, am I not here? I'm your mother. Think about that. And so vibrating in all of your cells, the frequency of trust. The frequency of trust that opens you up to magnetize to you all that you need. And so just receive this attunement from Our Lady of Guadalupe. Trust. Embodying divine trust. And see yourself walking through your day, through your life with that embodiment. And see yourself walking through the world as things fall apart and there's all this crisis and pain and all of the stuff, and you're walking in that embodiment of trust. And because you're walking in that embodiment of trust, what happens? The frequency around you starts to rise up. You start to radiate that divine trust. Miracles can flow through you. Blessings pour forth. And so feel that. You might be feeling some vibration or trembling as this attunement comes forward, but it's okay if you don't feel anything, but just feel it. She's just receive this attunement, attuning you to divine trust. And as she does that, she's removing any leftover programming of the opposite. So I feel this attunement is going down your spinal cord and into your shoulder blades and down to your root. Like that's how it's traveling in your body. And I'm feeling now all this tightness. So it's almost like now she's also pulling out any just anything that has been placed there, oaths, vows, contracts, all that stuff that has kept you looking outside of yourself for validation. All of that is being removed so you can receive and then see what's going to be nurtured. She's saying, okay, the solstice through all the holidays of light that are coming forward. This is not anything with religion, to December 31st. What see is that we're going to have our own rays of light emanating from us, like Guadalupe has, right? Those rays of light that keep us safe and protected is like this diamond sunlight that nothing of lower resonance can withstand it. So that's what's happening. The blessings are being amplified within you, and your ability to bless the world is being amplified. So from now till December 31st, this attunement will continue to be integrated on all 4 levels of your being: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, across all dimensions of time. That your Akashic records now be rewritten to represent, to show this moment in time. Everything has been rearranged and realigned for your highest good. And so as we get ready to close, there is a question now that Our Lady of Guadalupe wanted me to pose for you to ask. Some of you have done this with me before, and some of you might have done it on your own. You know, the word of the year. And this year, Our Lady of Guadalupe is inviting you to ask the divine master within you. What is the word? What is your word for 2023? The word that will help you embody divine trust. What is your word? And maybe you will receive it now. Maybe you're like, whoa, here it is. Or maybe it's not coming yet. It's like you're receiving the energy of it, but it's not yet apparent. So ask for the word, and then ask for a symbol that represents that word. Ask us for a symbol, for a word. It is in your heart, even if you haven't heard it yet. And Our Lady of Guadalupe is inviting you. She's blessing this word. She's blessing this symbol, whether you see it yet or not. As she's inviting you to really make it tangible. Take this final days of the year to whatever you're going to do. Draw it, post it around your home, put it in your phone to like really, really bring it in. So this isn't a moment that then come February, you're like, what word? But it's like really let yourself use that as an anchor of love. Damien's saying, shine. Beautiful. And you're receiving your cloak of stars and your crown of stars. I love that. Thank you, Damien. And so if any of you felt your word, please bring it. Embrace. I love that. Oh, and I love that it has the first 2 letters of your name, Emily. Emily, embrace. And embrace Emily. This is perfect. Claire, surrender. Oh, so beautiful, Claire. Thank you. Amy, surrender. Yes. Maureen, love. Yes. And so this word, you want to go to the deeper meaning of it, right? And I don't mean analyze, but just be with the word. Go into the light language of it, the light codes of it. What is it going to be for you? And on the day after the solstice, so the 22nd, there is going to be I'm going to have my Mother Mary planetary healing class, and she's letting me know. And in that day, it'll be right after the solstice, right? We're going to be receiving all these codes of light, codes of light, codes of light that are going to help amplify this word, amplify the attunement, amplify the blessings of today, amplify the receiving. And then on the 22nd, right, 12, 22, 22, what a powerful day, 1 o'clock, right? We're going to gather together for the planetary healing class with Mother Mary. And she's going to help weave it all in as we get ready for, you know, the celebration of the Christ light. And again, this isn't about Christianity. It's not about religion. It's the Buddha light, it's the Christ light. Okay, so we're going to ask your higher self. Let me see if, oh, there's more words. Reach. I love that. Expansion. Yes, so beautiful. So we're going to start to make sure your energy body is cocooned in light as you're going to be integrating this attunement. So we welcome your higher self. Your higher self knows exactly what to do to integrate this attunement, these blessings, these activations, this release, this receiving, all of it that's happened on all 4 levels of your being, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, across all dimensions of time. And welcome Hathor to bring in her beautiful, just powerful energy. She is a weaver of timelines. So we ask her to gently integrate this powerfully and gently. And we ask your higher self to recalibrate your chakras, your energy body, your meridians to whatever adjustment needs to be made for your everyday activities today. Jill saying hope, but my parts are resisting this. Okay, well, be with that, Jill, right? That might very well be the word. It's very, and I'm glad you share that, Jill, because it's very, very normal to have resistance to the word. So if you have a word and you're like, no, that's not the word I want, just kind of be with it and see what it means for you. And it might be that that's a step to the next word, right? The actual word. So I just want to name that. Thank you, Jill. So wrapping you in beautiful, gorgeous, healing light. You are in a healing chamber, a very special Guadalupe healing chamber from now till the 31st. And I just want to make sure that everything's, remember, tomorrow is her actual feast day. So I invite you to have your own little ceremony, whether you light a candle, you know, there's Guadalupe candles everywhere, well, in a lot of places, or just a regular, whatever you are guided to do tomorrow. It doesn't have to be complicated to have your own moment of added connection with her. And so I want to just pull a few cards. I know we're at time. I should have said it in the beginning, you know, I was like, this is going to go more than an hour, isn't it? Just, yep. So thank you so, so much. If there's anything you want to share in the chat, please feel free to do that. And I am going to just pull a few cards. How many people are on here? Beautiful. Okay. So, and let me see, who did it? Teresa, I did not know you were here. I'm so glad you're here. Renee, I'm glad you're here. I don't know if I know Renee, but thank you so much for all of you being here and all of you who are listening to the replay. And I know there were many names that I wasn't familiar with. Thank you so, so, so much, because it was really everybody, not just the people here live, but everyone, the collective energy who said yes to this invitation that allowed us to have such a powerful gathering. So I'm just going to pull a few cards for all of us, replay and in person. So this is from the Priestess Oracle. Now, whenever I do an attunement with a client, I always pull an oracle card. So this is important to have. Oh, thank you, Damien. So that you can see some added messages. So let's see. From the Priestess of the Light Oracle, what is the message for the group here? All right. So perfect. Okay, shamanic journey, purpose, attunement, vision quest. Look at this gorgeous woman on the horse. So what this is telling me, first of all, we did a shamanic journey today, right? We had a vision quest, but tomorrow is her feast day, 12/12/22. Look at all those twos there. So I really feel that this is an invitation to do your own little inner shamanic journey quest. Don't let that overwhelm you. If you're like, what? Shamanic journey? I have no idea how to do that. It's really just step into a sacred space. Just have the intention. It's a vision quest. Intend to be shown what you are meant to see. That's all it is. And if you are like a shamanic journey guru and you've done so much of this, I invite you to be in beginner's mind, because sometimes that gets in the way, and keep it very simple. It does feel like the question is like, what do you want me to see? What have I not seen yet? Okay, so there's that. This also tells me that there's a big awakening of your shamanic skills, of your skills to lead others in their own vision quests. So Jill is saying, right as we were at receiving Our Lady of Attunement of Divine Trust, my computer died. Yes, trust your attunement no matter what. Yeah, you know what? Attunements can really affect technology. So to me, it's like, wow, it was such a powerful attunement that your computer went out. It's totally okay because it went through. Yes, yes, I'm so glad, Damien. Okay, so that one, and then I'm just going to do a unicorn card, and then we are ending. Okay. All right, so what are the beautiful unicorns have as a message for the group? Perfect. Enlightenment. Look from the highest perspective. See the divine in everyone. Look at that gorgeous card. Oh my gosh, I just feel like how beautiful, right? All of that gorgeous unicorn. If so many of you know, right? Because I've been talking in the priestess transmissions how I have felt the unicorns circling me, and I know they're encircling you. And so that enlightenment, that's what you are. All right, beautiful ones. Thank you so much, everyone. Remember, every week, every Wednesday at 2:30 Central, I'm on YouTube Live for the Priestess transmissions. I know the ones that are remaining this year are going to be they're all powerful, but they're getting more powerful. And I know Guadalupe, Mother Mary, Bridget, all of them are showing up to bless us. There's the activation of light codes on 12/22/22 in the Mother Mary Planetary Healing class. And of course, my next Sophia Circle starts in January. There are so many things. If you're not on my newsletter, I invite you to join. And I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. Bye, Jan. I'm so glad that you were here as well. And oh, thank you. I feel glowy. Thank you, Maureen. Yes, every year. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Bye, everyone. Day and time again. Damien. Okay, so the Priestess transmission is at 2:30 Central every Wednesday. I mean, they're just becoming these amazing ceremonies each time. So YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and the planetary healing light code activations the day after the solstice at 1 o'clock. That's my monthly Mother Mary planetary healing class. So, and again, I will share all this in my newsletter, and I'll also put it on the description of the video. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Go bless the world wherever you are. Thank you so much, everyone here in Chicagoland area, across the United States, and across the world. Thank you for receiving this and being ambassadors of it in your own world, right? In your own place. Thank you so much. Bye.